this has been procrastinated on long enough. I wanted to make this video because I thought it was a important perspective to share to put out there if it hasn't been considered at all. But I think that it is important of learning, of going back and doing uh, research on actual history. Don't go back and look at prominent figures to get your information on what's actually happening. Because just like today, actors can write books. Anybody can write a book. And I think just like today, a lot of people in the past that were famous got to, who are rich or famous, got to create content and put it out there and share their perspective as if that was the truth. But that's not my my thought is more uh towards the individual, and it's learn more about the true past so that you can resolve any conflicts you might have internally. Like for certain people, when the topic of slavery comes up, and they might only have information of it happening to one particular group, but because it wasn't taught to them that multiple groups were enslaved, and they speak on it as if it was a fact, but then the people who only were taught the one way, they're like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "I wasn't taught that." So, and everybody's looking at each other crazy because everybody has different pieces of the story or a story that all doesn't, you know, sync up. So that's why, sidebar, you can't have it's common sense type phrases because we all don't do the same thing. Some people use washcloths, some people you don't use washcloths. No need to start a battle over that. That's just the way some people work. It makes sense for one group, doesn't make sense for another. Now, if you want to have a debate about it even closer, science tends to lean towards one over the other. But the thing about that is, going back to the original point, is you want to learn the whole truth or get more perspectives to get a better picture of what actually may have happened, because you're going to carry this idea in your mind for so long based on somebody's lie. Like people who go into their mid 20s and still believe in Santa Claus because they were introduced to a lie and then they carried it on forever. Um, but you want to learn what happened just so that you don't. So if you were to get into a better position, you don't recycle the hate. You don't be like, oh, I'm in a better position now and I'm going to use my. I'm a misuse the time I took to get to where I am to be the better person that I am, to seek revenge and get back and so on people. So you never, so it's like you get yourself to a point, but then you turn backwards and then just berate everybody that's behind you. But then them looking forward and you looking back, they're gonna look at you like you used to look at them. So now you're just recycling hate. So while you're doing all this healing and learning and improving on yourself, keep going. Don't look back. Don't look back when you are improving yourself. Don't go back to those old ways when you're improving yourself on your life. Because I've sat with this thought ever since the movie came out, but when they added more perspective to Harvey Dent's character, that phrase said you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that was so profound to me when that first when I first heard that. And it's like, dang, that's true. But that's not final just because it was just a fire line in a movie. It's possible that you can because you'll accumulate so much knowledge and perspective and this and that over time that when you start to look at your surroundings and you're like, damn, all these people are dumb. But it's not really that people are dumb, it's just that people are not taking. It's either you have information or you don't have information. But then there's a spectrum within that with conditions that may get in the way of your ability to have certain information. But you can still have it in the way in the form of books and whatnot, and still be able to develop your way to receive that information. But a lot of people with information may look at people without information and be like, "Oh, you're unworthy to live on this earth," or just make up some random stuff to make yourself feel like you're better than anybody else. It's just like, no, you just have access to information and perspective that they don't. You just have more of a thing that they don't. It's not really a case of people being dumb because you can't be dumb if you're not smart. Like, if you're dumb and you do something dumb, that's a mistake because you didn't know any better. But if you know better and then still do the thing, that's when you're dumb. But you don't want to put yourself in a position to where if by some chance, if you're quote unquote in the oppressed situation and then you get into a tables turn situation, you don't want to carry that same emotion and thought process because you needed that thought process to exist down here. Those ain't the requirements when you're living up here. It's a different uh standard, and you get it. It's like all 4 hertz, 3004 hertz, or 4004 hertz. It's like you can't bring the four up to the 4004 and expect to stay there. You're gonna go magnetically. You're gonna go straight back to where that uh frequency resonance operates optimally. And it's like if you were to say the frequencies down here were just negative and the ones up here were positive, if a negative person comes up here and is talking all that stuff, you're gonna seem out of place if the people up here are solidified in their peace and their knowledge and all this other stuff, and then you're gonna be singled out, and then you're gonna start that feeling all over again by not improving on yourself. You're still carrying the energy from the past, trying to live in the future when everything is different. I think it's important to go through your find your peace, maintain that peace. Don't go back when you've because when you if you know better, you do better, and maintain that. Because you don't want to recycle hate. You want to acknowledge things that happened and for the time being, I'll say find empathy with the situations. Um, and then also, you don't know if to the absolute degree, because everything is on a spectrum. Kindness is on a spectrum, evil is on a spectrum, but some people are not doing it full fledged, are not doing certain things full fledged on their thought. It's just like they're just reacting to things. That's where a lot of people like to say there's like I just match energy. It was like so you don't do anything original. You just react to stuff. You don't cause anything. It's like and that's what's safe to you. That's what makes sense to you. That's what's safe to you. But that just means that you definitely have some work to do if you're one of those type of people. Because anybody can control you if you have to wait for somebody to do something in order for you to do anything. But continue to love yourself, love your body, love your mind. Water your own grass, because that's where the grass is greener. And don't recycle the hate. Don't recycle the hate. Because then you bring yourself down to that level after knowing what you should be doing better.